Welcome to the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving, goal-oriented rebel women come to learn how to live a vibrant and fulfilling life without requiring alcohol to get through it. No labels, no judgments, no saying you'll never drink again. Just real proven methods to help you stop rebelling against yourself with alcohol so you can drink less and do more. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik. Let's dig in. Welcome to episode 166, How to Human. Hello, hello, hello. It's March 1st. Happy March 1st, everybody. I am feeling Marchy. I am feeling, like spring is around the corner. I love the start of a new month. So I just had a coaching call this morning in my Stop Over Drinking and Start Living coaching program. And I advised my clients to do an evaluation. So no matter what kind of goals you have, maybe you don't have any goals at all, but maybe you look at the past month. This is what I advise my clients to. Look at the past month and do a big evaluation of it so that you can start this month fresh and you're not carrying any negative thinking or bullshitty, downbeat type thoughts into a fresh month. So what that looks like is doing evaluation. This is in a worksheet that I provide my clients, is what worked, what didn't work, and what could I do differently next time. So if you just take the last 30 days and you answer those questions, really highlight all the things that you did in February, from drinking your water to getting exercise to, how many days you didn't drink alcohol, something like that. And then what didn't work, maybe you could highlight some things that, you weren't super excited about, or maybe you didn't follow through on some things, just from an awareness perspective, not as an opportunity to be hard on yourself. So just what didn't work, and then what would you do differently next time, which means this month. So knowing all of this information, seeing what worked, add those in there as well. But how can you tweak things just a little bit as you're starting this new month? That would be super helpful for you, knowing what you did last month. And then once you do that evaluation, you want to ask yourself, what can I think about what I did in February that would lead me to doing more good things in March? Okay, that's a really important question to ask yourself, because where our default brain wants to go to is February sucked, or I didn't do exactly what I wanted to do, or, I only didn't drink blah, blah, blah through the month of February, right? So your brain is going to want to go to the negative. That's just how we're wired, okay? So you have to intentionally ask yourself good questions that your brain will produce good answers. So when you ask yourself, what can I think about last month that will help me do more of what I want to do this month, and see what comes up for your brain, right? Your brain wants to work for you. Okay, it's an excellent tool, which leads me into today's topic, how to human. But once you learn how to use your brain for your benefit, you can become unstoppable. Okay, so that's what I would recommend for all of you guys, is to do an evaluation. What worked, what didn't work, what could I do differently next time? And if you're inside my coaching program, the coaching call from March 1st is something that you want to watch. I dive into that a little bit deeper. But I've been exploring this idea of having a course called How to Human, right? Because we aren't taught this very important information in school. And in my opinion, it should be required just like language or math class. It's even more important, right? So right now, with things that are happening in the world, the invasion of Ukraine, the global pandemic, these types of things really highlight that we don't know how to be humans. Right? We're just at the effect of what's happening in the world, our emotions, our mind, right? And we think that we don't have a lot of control when we actually do have a lot of control of this stuff. I'm constantly seeing us react in ways that aren't helpful to what's going on and can be even more hurtful to ourselves, simply because we don't understand human behavior. And right now, I help with one problem, right? So all of my marketing, all of my support is around solving the problem of overdrinking. But if you're in my program or if you've listened to this podcast long enough, you know it's not all about drinking, right? It's about life and how we are handling it, from our relationships to what happened in our past, our professional life, and family life. Drinking is a behavior. It's something that we do, okay, that happens in response to how we feel or don't want to feel, or want to feel more of something, like the good feelings, right? We want to amplify some feelings. And this behavior, these actions of drinking, can turn into a habit, and that can be hard to undo without learning some new skills. And the skills that I teach you are really as basic as learning how to be a human in all of our experiences. This means learning how to feel and process our emotions, how to look at how we think and get awareness of how our thoughts create our feelings and drive our actions or our behavior. And we're given this humanness, i.e. a human brain when we're born, and it's complex and layered and beautiful. And we are given a set of emotions and feelings with our complex human brain, and it's easily influenced, our brain is, okay? We develop and adapt ideas and thoughts and beliefs that we are told to think by our upbringing, our society, our religions, our school systems, and depending on where you were born, what race, what religion, lack of religion, where you went to school, your neighborhood, your friend circles, what media you watch, the movies, the music, the activities that you do, all of this influence you beyond what you realize. Humans are very easily influenced, okay? So we adapt and we move along through our society, not really knowing this, not understanding why we do the things that we do. And things trigger us to think thoughts that create feelings in our body that will drive our actions, okay? This is human behavior. Like a family member telling you, maybe when you're young, you're too much. Or your boss telling you that you need to be calmer in meetings. Or your husband saying you were wrong about something. Based on all of these external factors in our environment and how we were raised and everything I listed, you will conclude in your mind something, some sort of conclusion about what that person said. Like, fuck them, they're wrong. Or, am I too much? Maybe I'm too much. Or, there's something wrong with me. Then we create this internal emotional response that we don't like, okay? Like shame or regret or doubt, some flavor of that, right? And then this internal emotional response drives our behavior, drives what we do next, like drinking, avoiding, eating, fighting, arguing, not doing things we actually want to do, canceling things, right? And over time, these actions we take or don't take create sort of a tangible result in our lives, like an overdrinking problem, or stalled advancements in our careers, or not so great relationships, or just being stuck and not growing or evolving ourselves. Okay? So understanding the nuances of how we think about things and being willing to look at that is learning how to human. And if you want to be the optimized version of yourself, or you want things to be different in your life, you have to learn how to human. You have to learn how to human. You have to learn how you got where you are. And then you can learn how to get where you want to go. And all of that goes into the bucket of learning about yourself and why you do what you do, aka how am I humaning? Okay, humans can observe their own thinking, which is so cool, and sometimes can cause problems. But really, they can think about the future. They can change their thoughts to get different outcomes in their lives, right? We all know that, like, if our favorite rock stars didn't believe in themselves or didn't think they could do it, they wouldn't become famous with #1 hits, right? If I never thought I would create a business where I support hundreds of women to change their relationship with alcohol, then I wouldn't have created my business. It all starts in your mind. Okay, then it becomes a tangible result in your life. Even the bad stuff, okay? Even how much you're drinking. It all started in your mind, not in other people's minds, your mind. So learning about this and why we do what we do, understanding yourself and seeing your patterns and motivations is exactly what we need to do to solve any problem that we have or improve our lives. So that's why life coaching and how I coach, or therapy, or the combination of two, can be so powerful, right? When you understand your own humanness and get to know yourself, you can change your behavior. It makes so much more sense to you when you get to know yourself like this. And you can have compassion for yourself when you see these patterns come up. You can recognize them, and then you can make conscious decisions to change them. If you don't learn how to human, you're going to feel like a hamster on a hamster wheel, never getting anywhere. Frustration, stuckness, anger that you can't move forward is going to await you if you're not willing to learn how to human. Changing our behaviors is hard. It can be hard. Sometimes it's not, but most of the time changing ingrained behaviors is hard because of the way your brain has developed. Recognizing that your patterns and habits are hard to break because of how our human brain works is fascinating. Habits are formed due to repeated behavior. And then once it's been repeated enough and we don't have to really think about doing the same thing anymore, it gets filed back into the back of our brain as unconscious. And then we just do it without a lot of thought or energy. It takes no energy to do it. We just do it. And the good news about being a human is that you can undo that, right? But it's going to take a willingness to be conscious of why you are doing what you're doing. It's going to take a willingness to take responsibility for those actions instead of just saying, oh, it's just a habit. That's not taking responsibility. It's going to take a willingness to make a lot of mistakes as you undo these behaviors because they're so hardwired at this point. It's also going to take a willingness that you might be wrong sometimes, a lot of the time, right? And a willingness to be open to trying something new, okay? But if you are willing to learn how to human, how to understand your own specific human behavior, you can do anything you want in your life. Learning how to human is something not many people want to take the time to do. They really wouldn't. They would prefer to just do what they do, keeping it easy, keeping it safe, not ruffling any feathers. They don't want to feel uncomfortable, which also is absolutely fine. But if you want to move past something like overdrinking or having a better relationship with other humans, learning how to human is pretty much a requirement in that pursuit. And I'm really good at teaching it, y'all. So I'm going to be actually creating a class called How to Human, where we will explore how you got here, any result that you have in your life, and how to get where you want to go by looking at your mind, your feelings, and your behavior. And if you want to be the first person to know about that class, you must get on my email list, okay, at angelamascenik.com. If you get regular emails from me, you don't need to do anything. But if you have unsubscribed from my emails in the past, it's okay. I don't get offended to that. Or you don't just get one email from me a week, at least one email from me now. You must sign up at my website to receive my top 3 podcast episodes. So go to the website, angelamascenik.com. There'll be a little space there where it says, get my top 3 podcast episodes emailed to you. Put your email address in there. Okay? You're going to receive some helpful tips. And you're going to get my most popular downloaded podcast episodes. You should listen to them, even if you've heard them before. They're great refreshers. Then you're going to be on my email list, and you'll be the first to hear about this amazing class that's coming very soon. It's called How to Human. Okay? It is the foundation to changing anything that we want to change in our life. You got to understand how to do that before we do anything else. In the meantime, if you're ready to be your best human self, you can join my Stop Over Drinking and Start Living coaching program. And that's what we do inside there. We get in touch with ourselves. We understand our patterns. We learn how to override our primitive programming, how to override those habits and behaviors that we don't like. Okay? So click the link, get your application in, and you can join the program right now. Not ready to do that? You want to learn how to human first? Absolutely fine. Just make sure you're on my email list. Okay, my friends? I'll talk to you next week. Happy humaning. Happy March. And I love you all. Bye for now.